Shalom Israel, it's the Isupk Chicago Wednesday night biblical law class. What we go over is things that pertain to the law, what you can and can't do according to the law, statutes, commandments, if it's a sin, if it's not a sin, and everything of that nature. If anyone online has any questions or whatever the case may be about the law, statutes, and commandments, feel free to type it in. People in the classroom, make sure you can raise your hand, ask your topics or whatever. I'm going to say it and we'll just rock it out like that. So, if no one has any questions, I'm just going to get into my topic. Anyone in the room have any questions before I start? All right, no sweat, no sweat. So with that, what we're going to go into right now is something very predominant that we have going on in 2019, specifically here in America, is we have some proclaimed black leaders that are teaching the children of Israel astray. You understand? Lying to them, deceiving them, everything of that nature. And due to that, we're in a state of confusion.
Right.
You understand? We walking around thinking it's okay to go do drugs. Oh, Christ. We thinking it's okay to go do this and do that and everything along those lines, which really that's not the case. So we're going to go into, for one, the Christian church. Number one thing all Christianity and everything like that like to believe is that Christ came, so it would be that box and those two bags that are trash. Cool. They like to believe that the law was done away with. Right. That Jesus Christ came, well known as Yahweh Mashiach in the Hebrew. He came back onto the earth and he destroyed the law.
Right.
You understand? With his death, he gave us grace and did away with the law. But you go into this Bible, that's far from true. It's far from believable. And it's all in the scriptures that you don't read at Sunday service.
Right.
You understand? So we're going to start with Matthew chapter 5, verse 17, to show you what Christ out of his own mouth said about the law.
Right.
Right? Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 17.
Mm-hmm.
Think not that I have come to destroy the law.
Think what?
Think not that I have come to destroy the law.
You understand? Christ is saying, don't even think in your mind that he came to go destroy these laws.
Right.
You understand? You see, if you go back to Leviticus or the 5 books of Moses, you understand, Genesis, Exodus, Numbers, Leviticus, and Deuteronomy, you go find those 5 books, those all pertain to the law.
Right.
You know, the laws, the statutes, commandments, what you can do, what you can't do.
Right.
You go back to the law, it says, thou shalt not kill.
Right.
Thou shalt not steal, no cover thy brother's wife.
Right.
You understand? You should not eat pork, shrimp, crab, and lobster. You shouldn't do those things.
Right.
But now, because Christianity teaches you the law is done away with, we're eating pork on Thanksgiving night.
Right.
Thanksgiving Day. Coming together with our families and trying to bless it in the name of the Lord, but it's full of unlawful foods.
Right.
You understand? And then at the fact of this is that the Lord says we're not supposed to go learn from these other nations.
That's right.
We're not supposed to follow their customs or their cultures or their religions and their philosophies. But yet tomorrow, November 28th, we're about to go do that as a nation.
Right.
We're all going to come together as a people. We're going to, as a nation, with our families and sit down at the dinner table and have some nice yams and some turkey and some pork grinds and ribs and all these types of foods. And those are two things, there's 2 things in particular that we do on Thanksgiving that's a sin. For one, we're following and celebrating Thanksgiving.
Right.
When that's the day that is signifying the day that Christopher Columbus and the Pilgrims slaughtered 77 million Native Indians.
Right.
You understand? Slaughtered them to the greatest degree, and now it's a well-known holiday.
Right.
So now, for one, you're celebrating murderers. You understand?
Right.
And 2 is that, like I said, you over there eating all these foods, and 90% of the foods on them tables are all foods that the Lord said don't touch.
Right.
That the Lord said don't eat.
Right.
That's what we get from Christianity. You understand? That's what you get when you think that the laws were done away with. But when you read the Bible, it said what?
Think not that I have come to destroy the law.
And Christ didn't come and die so you could eat pork.
Right.
Christ didn't come and die so you could go love the other nations and celebrate their holidays.
Right.
The Lord didn't do none of that. Go ahead.
Or the prophets.
Or the prophets. I mean, Christ didn't come around to go destroy the laws of Moses.
Right.
He didn't come to go destroy the teachings of Ezekiel and Jeremiah and Nahum and all the prophets in the Old Testament.
Right.
Right? I mean, he didn't come for none of that. Go ahead.
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
He did what?
I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
And Christ isn't coming around to come destroy the law, but fulfill it. Meaning he came to show you as a living example that you can follow it and be perfect through it.
Right.
You understand? He lived the many years he lived on this earth, and never once did he sin against the Lord.
Right.
Never once did he fall weak to temptation or to sin. He didn't fall and do none of that. But because of the Christian church, they teach you that nobody can be perfect.
Right.
Except for Christ. What kind of sense does that make? Christ came to be the living example to show you how to be perfect.
Right.
That you can't just use the excuse that nobody's perfect anymore.
That's right.
You can't do that. You're trying to sell yourself short. You don't strive for perfection. Can you get 100% on the math test? Yes, you can. Meaning what? Right. You perfected it.
Right.
You understand? Have you ever said you got to beat your time in a race, or how many shots you ever taken in a basketball court?
Right.
Oh, your best was 60. Then you did 62 shots.
Right.
Meaning what? You were more than perfect.
That's right.
You understand? You excelled in what you did and had no flaws that day.
Right.
Go ahead.
And not to mention, sir, that the Most High himself told us to be perfect. So he wouldn't tell us to live a perfect life if it was impossible.
You understand? Because the Lord, that's exactly true. The Lord isn't someone that has any hypocrisy in his bones. In his being, there's no hypocrisy. So he can't say in one Bible verse, in Matthew 5:48, that says, be therefore perfect, right, even as he's perfect, but then you can't live a perfect lifestyle. Right. You understand? That's Christianity for you. And that comes from learning from the so-called white man and our oppressor, and then learning from our Uncle Tom sellouts like Kanye West and Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes and Jesse Jackson and all them.
Right.
They're teaching us the same thing that we got from our oppressors.
That's right.
You understand? Think about this. Our oppressors gave us the religion of Christianity. Right? Why would you think in your membrane, after 400 plus years of slavery, that your oppressor would for some reason give you something that would be beneficial to the slaves? Since when did the oppressor do things beneficial to the slaves?
Still waiting. They
haven't. That's the whole point. I should give you a little 2 cents on why Christianity is not for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians.
Right.
They conquered you, put you in slavery, raped you, murdered you, lynched you, and took your family away from you for 400 plus years. And then out of the kindness of their heart, out of 400 years, they gave you something that was going to be the greatest thing to ever hit the streets.
Right.
It doesn't make no sense. That's suspect.
That's right.
You understand? So Christ didn't, they tell you that Christ came away to do away with the law and you got to love everybody. So then you overlook all the crimes that they committed against you.
Right.
All the lies they told you and all the destruction and torment they gave you for 400 plus years. Now you'll forgive them through the religion that they gave you.
Right.
You understand? All because nobody's perfect and you should forgive everybody like Christ did.
Right.
That's not how Christ lived.
That's right.
You understand? But go ahead.
Because I would say it's strange that the oppressor, he got heaven right here on earth right now. Mm-hmm. But he'll tell us, they'll tell us we got to die to go to heaven.
Exactly. You understand? That's the whole point. He's the oppressor, he's got a very good forked tongue. He speaks very well. You understand? Right. You'll believe lies and think that they're the truth.
Right.
That's just how the oppressor is, and he'll always be that way. You understand? So go ahead.
Come on, sir. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. Mm-hmm. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth passes, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law.
You understand? Meaning, until heaven and earth go away and never exist again, not one jot or one tittle, meaning what? Not one dot of an I or one cross of a T shall ever be away from the law.
That's right.
You know, meaning everything you read and everything you see in those first 5 books of the law and in this entire Bible are still standing now.
Right.
You understand? Christ did come, and yes, there are some specific things that he made more perfect. He saw a loophole or a flaw in the Old Testament. You understand? So he came and guess what he said? All right, let me add a couple more words of this to make it more understanding and make it more better, in quote, perfect. He perfected some of the things that might have been in or that were out of order.
Right.
You know, but he didn't go do away with the entire book. You understand? Go ahead.
till all be fulfilled.
You understand? Until all be fulfilled, meaning all those law, statutes, commandments, you should fulfill them in every day of your life.
That's right.
You should think about the law every time you step out your house.
Right.
Every time you wake up, you can be like, think about it. Oh, well, my family wants to go to Red Lobster, but I saw in Leviticus chapter 11 that we're not supposed to eat the things in the ocean that don't have fins and scales.
Right.
So I can't go there and I can't eat what they are having.
Right.
That should be in your mind, and you should turn away the Red Lobster.
Right.
You understand? Or you should think in your mind, the Lord said not to eat swine, so I'm not going to go participate in anything that might have pork in it.
Right.
Why? Because it's unhealthy for you. That's why Christ told you, that's why the Lord told you not to eat those individual animals,
right.
is because they are very bad for your hygiene and your health.
Right.
The Lord wants you to live a long life as a Black, Hispanic, Native Indian. That's why he said the dietary laws.
Right.
What do you do to healthen your body up? You go on a diet.
Right.
You understand? Meaning you don't eat certain foods that might cause you bodily harm.
Right.
That should be just common sense for
right.
everyone on the earth. You know gasoline should not go in your stomach,
right.
so you're not gonna drink gas. You understand? That should be ABC 1, 2, 3.
Good.
You shouldn't go eat maggots.
Right.
You should think that in your mind. I don't see anyone eating maggots on a willful nature.
Right.
Okay, you don't feel like you should. You know you probably shouldn't eat no cockroaches.
Right.
But yet you eat the same. You don't eat cockroaches of the land, but you'll eat cockroaches of the sea.
Right.
Because, like I said again, our oppressor, the one that gave us Christianity, and told you the laws were done away with, told you that shrimp is a delicacy.
Right.
Told you that crab is a delicacy when that's basically eating a spider,
right.
just of the sea. You understand? Right. And a shrimp is a cockroach of the sea. They have the same jobs, just in different environments.
Right.
You understand? But go ahead.
Another thing, sir, if you laying up, your brother helping you out and you ain't got no job, and your brother getting up going to work, don't be in there trying to figure out how you going to sleep with his wife, man. Mm-hmm. And we got that bad, Judites, man, got that bad, always want to sleep with another man's wife, man. Or connect ourselves to whores. That's another thing.
You understand? And guess what? That deprives from Christianity as well. Why? Because Christianity basically tells you that sex is not marriage.
Right.
So now, of course, Black people really don't care about a ring or anything like that. It's 2019. But even when I was in the world, I'd respect the ring.
Right.
At least when I was in the world, I did personally. You understand? But people think it's, well, they wanted to change. You didn't want to be with him more. They weren't married, so they kind of just want to overlook the scenario because there was no ring or engagement going on. Little did you know, because your brother is sleeping with that woman of his, they're married.
Right.
Because sex is marriage, not a ring and a piece of paper.
Right.
I can lose my ring. I can lose a piece of paper. That doesn't nullify my marriage.
Right.
That doesn't make sense. If I could go get a piece of paper right now and say I'm married to so and so, does that mean it's valid?
Lie, sir.
Yeah, I could go steal a ring off of somebody else's finger and put it on my woman's finger. Does that mean I'm married to her now?
Lie, sir.
If I borrow my brother's ring just to size it, does that mean for that period of time I'm married to his wife? Because I'm wearing the marriage ring to her, the matching one to hers. It doesn't make sense.
Right.
You feel my point?
Right.
Rings and paper have nothing to do with marriage. They have nothing to do with the laws of the Lord. It's just
right.
pieces of paper and rings. It's just an accessory and a utility.
Right.
You understand? That's all it is. But in the law, sex is marriage.
That's right.
But we don't respect that no ways because we were taught in the Christian church the laws are done away with.
Right.
They don't respect the acts of sex no more. That's why you have porn. That's why you have adultery.
Right.
That's why you have fornication, because no one values sex. It's just nowadays it's just a way to have pleasure.
Right.
It's fun. It's enjoyable.
Casual.
You get some rocks off, no strings attached.
Right.
Nah, you for one, you're a prostitute and you're a whoremonger. That's all you are.
That's right.
Male and woman, you're a whore, and a man, you're a whoremonger. You understand? I mean, you basically will sell it, you'll get it, you'll buy it, you'll do all that.
Good.
Go ahead.
18. For verily I say unto you.
19.
Oh, come on. Slack it, sir. 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments.
Yes, anyone that breaks one of these least commandments, we know any of these commandments that seem more meager than some.
Right.
Like you think you can't weigh murder and a white lie.
Right.
Those two things you really can't. They can't be on equal footing.
Right.
And murder's way up there.
Right.
A lie, it's a little bit more less of a crime.
Kind.
There's a thievery and rape, two different levels of crimes.
Right.
You understand? You go in America, you go rape somebody, you will probably go to jail for life.
Kind.
If you go are a thief, you might get probation or a couple fines depending on the item that you took.
Right.
You understand? But go ahead.
And shall teach men so.
And shall teach men so, meaning you go teach people that it's not a crime to do that.
Right.
It's not a crime to do that, or against the law to do this. Yeah, go ahead.
He shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
And he'll be called the least, meaning they're telling you lies. You're trying to put these people on a pedestal,
Right.
Like they some great high up being, but in all reality, when the kingdom of heaven hit, they're gonna be on the lowest form of being.
That's right.
You understand? They'll be above the slaves, yes. They'll be above the slaves.
Right.
But overall, in the nation of Israel, they'll be like your trailer trash.
Right.
You understand? They'll be the ones that probably going around and asking for change. Go ahead.
It's like hopefully that one of them will be a Joel Osteen.
No, he'll definitely be one.
With his buddy Kanye.
Is that that's Joel Osteen? Yeah, I thought it was Al Sharpton. It is Joel Osteen.
Yeah,
It is.
They combining together lately.
Mm-hmm. You understand? So let's drop that. Let's go over to Deuteronomy 4:1. Let's hit Deuteronomy 4:1 first. Let me get there as well. And overall, my main topic, if anyone wants to know, is I'm gonna be going into all y'all main man, Kanye West, well better known as in 2019, Yeezus. Who the hell took a bite out of the Bible?
That's a good one.
Kanye West. You understand? Everyone sees what he's doing around. He's a Christian pastor. He be going around and having tens of thousands of people in his audience,
right,
while he's going to teach them the word of the Lord, because now he decided to be a devout Christian. Let me tell you this, Israel. All blacks, Hispanics, and Indians. Before Kanye West, in quote, came out and devoted himself to Christianity, he was already a Christian. You understand? He was already a Christian. He just didn't go to Sunday service.
Right.
You don't have to go to Sunday service to be a Christian. To be a Christian is that you believe in the philosophies or the doctrine that Christianity teaches. You understand? If you believe in your mind God loves everybody, you're a Christian.
Right.
You can go to the satanic church, but if you believe God loves everybody, you are a Christian.
That's right.
Because that's what Christianity teaches. If you believe nobody's perfect and you only live once, you're a Christian. If you believe it's okay to go celebrate holidays, you're a Christian. You understand? If you believe that the Most High and Christ are the same being, you're a Christian.
Right.
That's the whole point of the matter. So I don't care about whenever he decided to come out of the Christian closet. Kanye West was a Christian before he decided to announce he was a Christian.
Right.
How do I know this? Because he's married to a white woman. You understand? When you go into the laws of the Lord, you find out that interracial marriage is a sin.
Right.
It's against the Most High. But Christianity says love is love. God loves everybody, so you can love whoever you want to love, even if you want to love another race, or even if you want to love the same sex. That's Christianity.
That's right.
They teach you that love is love. It's all unconditional, which is not true. Love is not love. Love is you follow the law, statutes, commandments.
Right.
Love is an action that you show to a person. You understand? So let's read Deuteronomy 4 and 1.
Come on, sir. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 1. Now therefore hearken, O Israel, and to the statutes and unto the judgments, which I teach you, for to do them, that ye may live.
Are you what?
That ye may live.
You understand? The Lord gave unto, O Israel, like it says all the time in the very first line of this verse, it said, hearken unto these words, O Israel, meaning blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians.
Right.
That's who he's talking to. So now, he said, hearken unto the statutes and the judgments for you to do them.
Right.
And you follow the statutes. You follow the judgments. You understand? They're unto us as a nation.
Right.
Meaning, the Lord gave us the laws, the Bible.
Right.
He didn't give the other nations the Bible.
Right.
You understand? And that only has something to do with our race of people, our nationality. You understand? Because the Lord chose us to be a special people.
That's right.
But go ahead.
And go in and possess the land which the Lord God of our fathers giveth you.
You understand? The Lord gave everything unto us. He gave us the promises. He gave us the laws, statutes, commandments. He gave us the land. And he gave us a forum to follow if we want to possess the entire earth.
That's right.
You understand? He gave us a forum.
That's right.
And that forum is the law.
Right.
But like I said, Christianity will tell you to disregard the law. Why? Because your oppressors know this book to a certain extent.
That's
more
right.
than you.
Right.
You understand? More than our people as a whole.
Right.
The oppressors know this. They have studies, they have archaeologists, they have all these scholars that have been studying this book for hundreds of years.
That's right.
And because you got to understand that for a period of time, black people, Hispanic Indians that were in captivity to the oppressor weren't allowed to read this book.
Right.
So how would you have the understanding? Someone had to teach it to you. But since you couldn't read or write and you had no type of education, you were taught by the oppressor.
Right.
You understand? And then the oppressor would let a specific individual from our race or our nationality learn the words so they could teach you the words, because the so-called the oppressor understands that we would rather listen from our own people rather than another people.
Right.
You understand? That's why we flood the Christian church in the book of Jesus.
Right.
That's why we flood Jesse Jackson.
Right.
That's why we go flood Oprah and Steve Harvey.
Right.
We go flood their communities, Wendy Williams. We go flood they things because we would prefer to see the black face up there on the teaching us and telling us what's right and what's wrong. The same way all black people, so-called black people, were ecstatic when Barack Obama was elected president.
Right.
Because we saw a black familiar face in the office with authority.
That's right.
You understand? Even though Barack Obama is not our people, as a nation, we did not know that.
Right.
We thought he was our people based off his melanin and his skin tone. You understand? But overall, he's not our people. But the fact is that we looked at him as something great because he was in the seat of authority, because we are a carnal race.
Right.
We have carnality inside of us, which is what it is. You understand? So of course we would rather learn from our own.
Right.
So the oppressor understood that. So he taught one of our own. And he told those individual ones that I will pay you more to teach them these words.
Good.
To give them this doctrine. Regardless of what the book may say, I want you to make it about choir.
Okay.
I want you to make it about singing and dancing.
Right.
And feasting. You understand? And make sure they know God loves everybody. And everybody's equal. And guess what? To live a better lifestyle, that specific black person or Negro that they deemed to be the teacher, he said, yes, I'll do that.
Right.
Because he or she wanted to have a better lifestyle.
Right.
So they decided that he would live the better lifestyle and forsake the rest of the people.
Right.
That's what our black leaders in America have done.
Right.
You understand? That's what Kanye West has done. He's forsaken the people. He's not there for the people. He could give a rat's behind about our people.
That's right.
You understand why? Because the woman he lays down with every night is from another race.
Right.
He loves her more than he loves his own.
Right.
You understand?
Right, sir.
How do I know that? Because in the beginning of Kanye West's rap career, when he was still little, guess who was in his music videos? Guess who was under his shoulders? black women.
Right.
They were in photos. He had black women on to the right and to the left.
Right.
You wouldn't see a lily-haired white woman
Right.
under his arm.
Right.
But when he started getting bigger and bigger, each one of those individual black women ended up being switched into a white woman.
Right.
To a white woman, to a white woman, to a white woman. Now he's rich and famous, and then he goes and marries a white woman that is basically a plastic doll.
Right.
You understand?
And a whore.
And a whore. But you want to say?
I was gonna say, and it's not only just Kanye West, sir. If you don't mind, it's all these wicked pastors that's all over the land too.
Mm-hmm.
They're a major problem. Greedy dogs that don't care about God's people and spreading lies, and taking them backdoor deals. You know what I'm saying? And not teaching the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High.
You know, it's a thing. It's a fad in the black community. For once you get big, you got to get yourself a white counterpart. How do I know this? Like I said, Kanye West, he did it.
Right.
Guess who else did it? Tiger Woods, he did it. Guess who else? Serena Williams.
Right.
Venus Williams. You understand? Oh, these tons more did it. You understand?
Right.
You got Tiger. He's with Kim Kardashian's little sister.
Right.
You understand? You go and find all these famous rap people and entertainers and pastors and whatever the case may be. Their counterpart is from another nation, and majority of the time, predominantly from the race of so-called whites.
Right.
You understand? Better known as the nation of Edom. You understand? So, but go ahead. Verse 2.
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
You shall what?
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
Understand? We're not supposed to add to the words of the Lord.
Right.
You understand? We ain't supposed to change the writings inside this book.
That's right.
But guess what? Your best friend and your gay Christian pastor Kanye West, guess what he is doing? Changing the book of the Lord. You understand? How do I know this? Because Kanye West has made a book called the Book of Jesus.
Right.
You understand? And in that book of Jesus, it has Genesis.
Right.
It's got Exodus. It's got all these different other books that you'd find in the Bible.
Right.
And they are almost word for word verbatim. Almost is the word I'm talking about.
Right.
You understand? Whenever the word God or Lord pops up, guess what is in place of that word? Jesus. You understand? Instead of anytime it says Jesus, it says Jesus.
Right.
When it says God, it says Jesus.
Right.
And Jesus thought. And Jesus talked to a burning bush. That's what his book is about.
Damn.
You understand? He added to the words of the Lord.
My God.
But you go read the Bible, the book of the real God, the
Right.
Bible. You understand? It says to what?
Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
You say you ain't supposed to add to the words. That's a commandment.
That's right.
Because the Lord said, don't add and change the words that's in this Bible.
Right.
Because who are you to change God's words?
That's right.
Who is you?
Damn right.
Who are you? You a creation. You're the creation of the Most High, and you want to change the Most High's words? You are disgusting, man.
That's right.
You are one of the most disgusting people on this earth.
Damn right.
And guess what? And everyone now that is listening to Kanye West and reading the book of Jesus is gonna believe what he says because he's very influential.
Good.
Why? Because he's got money.
Good.
People with money are more influential to the Black, Hispanic, Native Indian communities because of their wealth,
Right.
because of their social status, because they are deemed on a specific pedestal, which gives them more love. People will follow them more because it seems like they made it.
Right.
You got to do what they did to make it big. Look at Jay-Z. He sold drugs to get to where he's at.
Right.
Now what do you see in the Black communities? Drugs flowing everywhere. All rappers are trying to be drug dealers. Before, 90% of your rappers, you have FBG, Doug, Kevin Gates, Jay-Z. Yeah, this day you go to these Young Thug or whatever the case may be. You go to all these some of these rappers. What did they do before they got big? They were selling drugs because they saw some before their time do the exact same thing because they are influential. And Black people prefer to follow the people with money rather than follow the ones without it.
Right.
Because money makes it who you are now in 2019 and in prior years to that.
Right.
You understand? So keep going.
I command you, neither shall ye diminish aught from it.
Yes, I mean, you shouldn't take away from the words of the Lord.
Right.
You understand? Like he's doing,
Right.
adding words and taking away words.
Right.
Why do you think this should just be common sense? Why do you think there is, counting his new Bible that he created, there are 29 different versions of the Bible? 29. You got the NIV, you got the Book of the Apostles, you got the Baptist book, you got the Jehovah's Witness book, you got the Book of Jesus, you got the New International. What is this? There's so many versions of the Bible, meaning what? That's 28 different versions that were added, that took away words or added to words.
Right.
You understand? If it's not a 1611 King James version of the Bible with the Apocrypha, it's not valid.
That's right.
Why? Because that's the oldest Bible to date that was translated into the English.
Right.
That's the whole point.
Right.
You understand? If you don't know, if your book, because some Bibles don't even say which version it is.
Right.
But majority of the time, you can go see if it's a validated Bible. Why? You can either go to Revelations 13 and 10, when it's talking about slavery.
Right.
It says, "Thou shalt kill with the sword, must be killed with the sword."
Right.
The other version will say, "Those who killed with the sword might be punished with the sword." Might be. Might and must are two different huge words.
That's right.
You understand? Or you can go to Jeremiah 14 and 2. You know, or 2 and 4. Yeah, 14 and 2.
Okay.
When it's talking about the gates thereof languish and
Right.
the Jews that are black unto the ground.
Okay.
You understand? It says colored.
Really?
Other versions say colored or
Right.
brown.
Right.
Why? Because it wants to make associated with color, colorism.
Right.
You understand? The oppressor is very wise and very cunning in his ways of destroying Israel,
Right.
which is blacks and Hispanics, Native Indians. So they add to the word, they take away from the word, and they add their own words and stuff like that, because words have very big meanings.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
That's why the Lord said, "Don't lie," because lies can be significant and lead to somebody to death.
Right.
You understand?
That's right.
Your words carry a lot of weight, but all together, your actions carry more.
Right.
That's really what the Lord's saying when it says, "Don't love in word, but love in deed."
Right.
It's not saying that the words have no validation, but it's saying that the actions thereof have a higher degree of that higher degree.
Right.
You understand? Of validation.
Yeah, kind.
You understand? So keep reading.
That ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you.
You understand? Because that's the only way you can follow the laws of the Lord, is if you read the Bible that was not added to or taken away from.
Right.
Because if they can take away words, guess what they can also do? Take away laws.
Right.
They can take away commandments and they can take away statutes. Or
Right.
guess what they can do? They can add it. You understand? Adding is just as dangerous as taking away laws.
That's right.
Because guess what they can do? They can add, you have to love your oppressors. You have to love everybody. That's what Christianity teaches you.
Right.
Understand?
Right.
They say you got to love everybody.
Cool.
They say everybody is equal. But if you read that, you're gonna believe that. If you hear it, you're gonna follow it.
Right.
That's why we think that we can still get justice in America.
Right.
We still think we can get justice because we believe everyone's equal and we all bleed red and God loves everybody. Through those three individual sayings that the Christian church tells you, now you think if you do the same crime as your oppressor, you'll get the same time. But you know you won't. Why? Because police can murder a brother or a sister on the street and get no jail time.
That's right.
But you kill a police dog, you'll go to jail for life.
Damn right.
You understand? That's not a just balance. That's not an equal balance.
Right.
That shows you your life isn't even equal to the dog's.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
But that's what adding to the Bible and taking away from the Bible will give you.
Right.
You understand? A false sense of just and a false sense of morality and righteousness. That's where it comes from and stems from. And that's what Christianity will teach you in the name of all these other Bibles that are out there in the world.
Right.
28 is a lot of damn Bibles.
You could.
You understand?
Yes, it is.
That's more tribes. That's more than double the tribes of Israel.
Yeah,
That's more than all the nations of the so-called white man.
Right.
Of the nation, the race of the so-called white people, they have they have nations inside them.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
So like same do the Africans, same do the Chinese and Japanese.
Right.
There are different nations in the midst of the whole race or the
Right.
whole nation of self.
Right.
You understand that 29 Bibles is a crazy amount.
Come.
You understand?
Yes, it is.
And that goes to show you how much confusion's on the earth.
That's right.
But then the Lord in the Bible says what as well? What did he say? The Lord is not a man of the Lord is not a man of confusion.
That's
I'm
right.
paraphrasing, of course. Right. You understand? But having the Book of Jesus and the Book of the New International Version and the version of the Pentecostals and the Baptist Church and the Jehovah's Witnesses, that's confusion right there.
That's right.
All these religions are basically the definition of confusion.
Right.
You understand? What does the word religion mean? Does anyone know? The word religion in itself means something very traumatic and dramatic. I mean, not traumatic. Very dramatic in itself. Just the word religion.
Religion, it's not slack, sir. It's religion. Okay, so religion.
I'll give you a little bit of it. Religion comes from a Latin and Greek word that came from the word religio. Religio, and then it, of course, translated to English is religion. Religio means something in its definition, and it's very monumental to our days of life right now.
So consistently doing something over and over again?
Something close. I give it to you. The word religio, quote, religion, means to bond or to bind. You understand? Meaning what? It's here to keep you in one place.
That's right.
You understand? So when you go to religions like Christianity or Islam or Egyptology, those doctrines are made to keep you thinking on one pattern, and you'll never leave that pattern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No one wants to leave the religion that says God loves everybody.
Right.
They don't want to leave that because it sounds so good to you.
Right.
They don't want to leave that. No one wants to leave a religion that says nobody's perfect, because now they'll never be accountable for the actions of the failures they do commit.
Right.
They would rather hear that.
Right.
You understand? They would rather hear something very well. It's like they'd rather be told lies than the truth. It feels better. It feels better to your flesh, because your flesh is always wanting sin and craving and lusting after things you should not do.
Right.
So of course, when you're told in words that when you hate someone in your mind, or someone does something to you, or you do something to somebody else, of course you're gonna want them to forgive you.
Right.
So then when you hear the words God is all love and all forgiveness, that eases your mind and eases your soul, does it not? Personally, people would prefer, like I said, the lie over the truth, because the truth is harder to swallow. The lies are for a peace of mind. Right. You understand?
That's crazy.
That's the whole point. That's why religions will bind you and construct you into one life, into one belief system that you'll never really want to stray from. Right. Why do you think it's rare? Why do you think it's rare that people come into the truth? Right. Because people are so bound and constrained and castrated from this religion. Right. They stuck. Right. It's like they've been living however many years they've been on this earth. They've been living with a ball and weight already. Right. You know how people like to say, I don't want anybody with baggage? Right. Christianity is the baggage. Right. You understand? And sometimes that baggage is a ball and chain. Damn right. Or you stuck in a pit, or whatever the case may be. Right. You understand? So you can drop that. Let's jump over to 1 Timothy 6 and 10. You understand? And this is a prime example and prime reason on why our Christian pastors and our black leaders and Kanye Wests and Oprah Winfrey's and Steve Harvey's and our entertainers, whatever the case may be, why all of them are less likely to do the right thing. Right. You understand? Like Cam Katazar's his album cover, Do the Right Thing. Our black leaders in 2019 in America, there's a slim chance, I mean slimmer than slim, chance that they will repent and change their ways. Right. You understand? Well, let me give you 1 Timothy with you. These small books are always a pain to
Like I said, they didn't pretty much turn everything into like entertainment. Everything is about entertainment. Everything is about pleasing the ear, saying things that soothing to the ear, like you said, a comfort zone, not wanting to hear the truth. Even though if you see facts in front of you, you know, there you rather go with a lie, which is crazy as all out. Knowing the hatred and the evils that history will show you that these people have done, and you still want to ignore that and say you want to love them.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Actually, if you could start at verse 9. 1 Timothy 6 and 9.
Come on, sir. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 9. But they that will be rich.
They will be what?
But they that will be rich.
That will be rich. Like our black leaders. You understand? Steve Harvey got money.
Right.
Oprah Winfrey, she's good. Tiger Woods, he good.
Right.
Kanye West, his net worth is $844 million. I mean,
That's right.
$844 million. That's a very wealthy human being.
That's right.
Jay-Z, he's a billionaire.
Right.
You understand? You got all these black leaders. They got money. They richer than rich can be.
That's right.
You understand? They don't even need that.
Right.
You understand? All that, they can't spend that money. Well, they could. You understand? A person that has money management couldn't spend that money in 10 years.
Right.
That's $1 billion. That's a lot of money. Unless you buying $1 million items every day.
Right.
You're gonna be. They're set for life. Their kids are set for life. Their grandkids are set for life, of course, until Christ come back.
That's right.
You understand? But you get my point.
Right.
But go ahead. Read that again.
But they that will be rich fall into temptation and a snare.
You understand? These rich black leaders, they fall short and weak to temptation.
That's right.
And they get trapped in their lifestyle.
Right.
They get trapped into everything because they start to love the money more than anything else.
That's right.
You understand? They can never get enough of what they got.
Right.
You have $50 million. I wouldn't really worry about much more. I'd invest in this and this and this and that. It's me personally, of course. I'd buy a couple blocks, you understand, in the hood,
right,
and rent them out to the brothers that need it.
Right.
You understand? But our black leaders, they see $50 million in the bank account, they want to make it 100.
Right.
The ones that have 100, they want to make it 200.
Right.
And 400. They want to keep doubling it. That's why if you go into Jay-Z's album, you understand, his 444 album, he says that. He said, buy a picture with this, make it double, make it double, make it double, make it double again. He says that that's all they have on their mind,
right,
is increasing their money.
Right. And
guess what they do to increase their money? The Christian pastors, they'll teach you lies.
Right.
They'll sell out the people.
Right.
Look at Steve Harvey. What he said like 4 years ago or two years ago, he said, forget slavery.
Right.
And guess what he did? By him saying forget slavery made all black people start to love him even more, because they think that's selflessness.
Right.
They think him saying forget slavery is a great thing. I mean, he has so much love in his heart by saying that.
Sure.
That's what Christians will look at.
Right.
You understand? Oprah Winfrey over here having all these shows, and she's putting the keys to cars under those seats.
Right.
And guess really the race of people that even rent out her seats. It's majority of all the white women.
Right.
White women do that. So she's really giving free cars to all these white women.
Right.
And guess what? Everyone that watched TV and her giving all the stuff to all those people in the crowd, now she's selfless.
Right.
But she's one of I think she is, in today's time, the richest black woman, if I'm not mistaken. She up there. You understand? That's the whole point.
Right.
Look at this. If you go to Amazon right now, if you online, feel free to do this. Go on Amazon right now and type in the Book of Yeezus. Type it in. You understand? The Book of Yeezus. And look at the price for his book. Please do it. Hold up. I have it right here. Get this there. Tell me if they can see this on the camera, please. Get this there. Tell me if you can see this price that's over here for the Book of Yeezus on Amazon. Can they see this?
Live, sir.
What, you gotta move up?
Yeah, they can see it. If they get up close to it, they can see it. I can see. Yeah, there you go.
They can see the number?
Yes, sir.
And then you can see the book?
Yes, sir.
That's Kanye West's book right now on Amazon. You telling me for the Book of Yeezus, apparently, like I said, Kanye West claims to be a devout Christian. He's going to give you the words of God. You understand? So you're telling me if I was a Christian out in the world, I would have to pay basically $1,200 for the Book of the Lord?
Right.
$1,200? That's more than 90%. No, not 90. That's more than a great percentage of people's rent.
Right.
That's 2.5 of my car note.
To a man that's already rich.
Yeah, that's to a man that's already, like I said, net worth $844 million.
Right.
And he's selling the Book of the Lord in his quotes, or in his words, for $1,200 per book.
Should be ashamed of his damn self. That's crazy.
You serious?
Right.
And I'll do you one even better. For his Sunday service, Kanye West Sunday service, he's charging $50 to $500 for each Sunday service. For each Christian church Sunday service that they go to in his amazing stadium or whatever the case may be, that's $500. That's my car note.
That's a hell of a concert.
That's more than my car note.
See, that's more than you pay to go to them damn places. You could get an all-star lineup and don't have to pay that much.
Yeah, that's every week. Every week, he's having tens of thousands of people coming to his church on Sundays, and each one of them has to pay a minimum of $50.
Wow,
that's outstanding.
okay.
That's crazy. Imagine, but that's for the words of God. For a Bible that you could, for the words of the Most High, that you can get a Bible, literally, you can get the 1611 King James Version of the Bible without the Apocrypha, unfortunately, at Family Dollar for $10.
Okay.
For $10. He's on Amazon selling his Yeezus-made Bible for $1,200.
Right.
You see my point? And then we want to say that our black leaders are for us.
Right.
They're for us. They're here to benefit the lives of millions. Well, with his $50 per person per Sunday, in his in the numbers of tens of thousands, he can literally buy blocks a week. Blocks a week in each hood in the United States.
Right.
In Chicago, he could probably buy 50% of the South Side.
Right.
Just with a month's worth of tickets that he gets on those 4 Sundays a month. That's outstanding.
That's crazy.
And guess how many people will see those funds? Guess how many people see those funds? That's not him and his family. Basically 0.
Right.
You understand? That's my point. Right. He's already rich. Keep going. He's trapped in the life cycle where he does not know how to love black people.
Right.
That's that snare.
That's right.
Christianity traps you into not knowing how to really love your race of people.
Right.
If you're a black and Hispanic Native Indian, you are trapped in the philosophies of loving everybody.
Right.
But really, like the whole point is Christianity doesn't teach you how to love everybody.
Right.
Christianity teaches you to love the race of people that created it.
Right.
You understand? Which
Right.
is the so-called white race.
That's right.
The race of the oppressors.
Right.
You understand? That's what Christianity teaches you to love, is the white supremacy.
Right.
Why? Because you see that picture of so-called white Jesus every day.
Right.
You see that hanging up. You see him on it, the cross, whatever the case may be. That's who the Christianity teaches you to love. That's who Christianity teaches you to have compassion on. How do I know this? Because when Dylan Storm Roof went to jail for murdering those 9 brothers and sisters in that Christian church, he had $1 million raised up within a week.
Right.
$1 million raised up within a week. That's how you know America has more love and compassion to the oppressor.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
But when a brother kills a cop dog in self-defense, he gets 45 to life. And guess how much funds he got raised up?
Probably 0.
My point. You understand? And the sad thing is that black on black crime does exist. Yes, it does. It's a crime. It's a tragedy in the black community. It does exist. But if a black person kills another black person, the family of that black person that died will never forgive the one that did the murder.
Right.
But the black families of the ones in that Christian church in North Carolina or South Carolina, one of the two, either or, I believe it's North Carolina, those families forgave that man, or that boy, Dylan Roof Storm, instantly. You understand? But guess what? Some black families have some self-esteem and some pride for their race.
Right.
Some of them in the world.
Right.
I can't say none of them do because that's not true.
Right.
Why? How do I know? Because the family of Stephen Clark, the one that got shot by Amber Geiger, I believe it was his mother that said she will never forgive her.
Right.
They had said, will you forgive her for doing what she did? And guess what she did? She said, hell no.
That's right.
You understand? She has some integrity at least.
Right.
To not forgive the one that murdered her family member. You understand? Especially when it's from the race of people that enslaved hers.
Right.
She had some integrity, and that's respectable. That's honorable that she said what she said. But the families that respected and forgave Dylan Roof Storm, they're disgusting.
Right.
Because they are trapped in the mindset of Christianity. They're trapped in the mind that says God loves everybody.
Right.
They're trapped in the philosophy that says God always forgives.
Right.
They're trapped in that, and they are most likely not going to subside from that belief because they are bound to it.
Right.
Because that's the definition of the word religion. It's called to bind and to bind. You understand? They're bound to it like it's a part of their flesh.
Right.
You understand? So keep reading.
Come on, sir. And unto many foolish and harmful lusts, which draw men in destruction and perdition.
That do what?
Which draw men in destruction and perdition.
You understand? It drowns men into destruction. You understand? These rich black leaders, they are going to be destroyed for what they teach, for how they teach it.
Right.
You understand? They are going to be destroyed.
That's right.
Give me some proof. Who do you know that was a black leader that got destroyed by the nonsense that they teach? Go ahead.
Martin Luther King.
Martin Luther King. You understand? Him teaching that we all need to forgive and join hand in hand with the oppressor and walk around the streets with their children. His philosophy destroyed him.
Right.
How do you know? He got murdered.
Right.
Yeah, he got killed, which was prophesied in the Bible.
Right.
Who else died?
Malcolm X.
Malcolm X. Everybody loved Malcolm X. You understand? But he was radical. He loved black people for a period of time in the best way he knew. And then he decided to go follow the religion of the Arabs and quote Islam.
Right.
And guess what Islam taught him? The religion that says God loves everybody.
Right.
The religion that says we're all equal and we're all made in God's image.
Right.
You know, when it comes to everybody on this planet. You understand?
Kind of
And guess what happened to him? What happened to Malcolm X?
He was murdered.
He was murdered because that philosophy and those doctrines that they teach drowns them until they die.
Right.
You understand?
Kind of a
Go ahead. What's that?
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
For what?
For the love of money is the root of all evil.
For the love of money is the root of all evil. How? How is the root of money, the love of money, the root of all evil? How?
How is the love of money the root of all evil? So I guess because people will do all sorts of wickedness for money, and lay on their bed at night plotting to get it.
Because people will do anything for money.
Right.
They'll do anything for it. You understand? How do you know this?
Yeah.
Women go suck rod for money.
Kind of a kind.
You know, they go sell their bodies for money.
Kind of a kind.
People kidnap women for money.
Kind of a kind.
You understand? People murder for money.
Right.
They steal for money.
Right.
You understand? They do whatever they can for money.
That's right. Sell drugs to their own people.
They'll sell drugs for money. People will do whatever it takes to get money.
Right.
Because they believe money is the way to get salvation.
Right.
They don't understand, especially blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, don't understand real salvation does not come through money.
Right.
Real salvation comes from following the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
That's the whole. That's how the oppressor destroyed us.
Right.
They made us believe money was going to save us. instead of the laws are going to save us.
Right.
By teaching that the laws are done away with, they left only one option to be saved in black people's minds, Hispanics and Indian people's minds,
Right.
which is money.
Right.
You understand? Of course, yes, there are rich black people out there. Yes, Hispanics, yes. But guess what they got to do? Majority of them, they got to destroy their bodies in these sports.
Right.
I'm sorry, football destroys your body. I would know. Basketball destroys your body. Look how many injuries they get.
Right.
Because they are doing so much every day physically.
Right.
It's destroying them.
Right.
You understand?
Come.
Rappers, what do they got to do? They got to rap about whores. They got to rap about sleeping with men's wives. They got to rap about drugs. They're destroying themselves as well just by doing that.
Right.
You understand? They might have money, but the way they're getting the money, and then they don't do anything with it for the people,
right,
it's disgusting. You understand?
Come.
Well, go ahead.
Which while some converted after, they have erred.
They have what?
They have erred.
They have what?
Erred.
You understand? But go ahead. Keep reading.
From the faith.
You understand? For the ones that are doing everything they can just for money, they've erred from the faith.
Right.
They've went off.
That's right.
They've been going left.
Left, right.
You understand? They've been talking too much to the left hand, which is the oppressor, instead of the right hand, which is Christ.
That's right.
You understand? They going the wrong way. You understand? That's the whole point. They've erred from the faith. I mean, they aren't the ones that are worthy to teach you what God's about.
Right.
Kanye West, him, the fact that he's marrying white women, he's changing the words of the Lord.
Right.
He's charging you for the words of the so-called Lord.
Right.
You understand? He's erred from the faith because it's all about his money.
That's
How do you
right.
know it's all about the money? He did something that makes you know for a fact that it's all about the money. Not talking about the cost of the book, not talking about the cost of his Sunday service.
Mm-hmm.
There's another thing that he did to make you know it's all about the Benjamins.
Come, sir.
And what is that? If you know.
It's escaping me, but it's all about the money.
He did one, or he said there's one thing he's doing, or said he was gonna do. You want me to give it to you? Okay.
Come on, sir.
You understand what Kanye West did? That lets you know that he's all about the money. Is he said he's gonna change his name to billionaire genius Christian Kanye West.
Oh, really?
You understand? That's what he said out of his own mouth. Of course, Kanye West is very full of dog poop.
That's right.
You understand? But the fact that he even said it and put the word billionaire in there means he's all about the money.
That's
because his money is what means the most to him.
Right.
And think about this as well. Yes, he's putting the word billionaire in his name. Is he a billionaire?
Blah.
No, he's not. How do you know? So that the fact that he's not a billionaire, but he's gonna put the word billionaire in his name change, lets you know that he found a profession that will help him get there.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Money only took him so far.
Right.
It did. It took him. It took him great. You understand? Because his name itself is worth $844 million. You understand? But to make up the other 135 or 36 million or 35 million, that right there, he's gonna get from all these Bible sales.
Wow.
He'll get that from every, like I said, tens of thousands of people in Sunday service every week for a year. For a year.
That's so
Let's just do the math, just for the people in the media.
crazy.
So let's say everyone pays at the minimum $50 for their ticket.
Right.
Let's say he has 30,000 people in the crowd.
Right.
That's one. That's one. This is so, and that's for one day. Everyone pays $50
Right.
for one Kanye West Sunday service,
Concert.
and there's 30,000 of them at $50 $50 a service. Just for that one day, he made $1.5 million. Times that by 4, he's at $6 million.
It's pretty creative.
Times that by 12. He's at $72 million in one day with the lowest cost. With the lowest. Now let me do the math with the highest. So let's say he has $500 a day with 30,000 people in his Sunday service. That's $15 million a day. times 4. That's $60 million a month times 12. That's $720 million a year. At the rate of what the numbers are looking of the cost he's saying to get into the Sunday service. That's crazy. That right there, in 1 year, if that number hits every time at $500 a ticket with 30,000 people Sunday, if that hit, he would be almost he's almost to his net worth already in 1 year. His net worth is $844 million.
Right.
If he does it with these odds, he's at $720 million in 1 year instead of the time he's been rapping. And you want to tell me Christian church pastors are not all about your money? If they weren't, who was it that bought their jet? It was Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar bought a goddamn jet. A jet.
Oh, and that big head dude too. The big head white boy.
White? Kirk Franklin?
Not Kirk Franklin.
Kirk.
Yeah, he looked funny too. Anyway, yeah,
they're not the only ones that buy jets. Right. You go to your Christian pastors, they buying their wives brand new Rolls Royce 2019s and all that. You telling me they don't got money?
Right.
You understand? If your Christian pastor has all this money, why do you have to go to a food pantry to get food?
Doggone right.
If your Christian pastor is driving a Rolls Royce and he has a new suit every day, why do you have to go to a food pantry at a different church? To feed your kids? Why? Because your Christian pastor doesn't give a damn about you. Because money is the root of all evil, and because your Christian pastor only cares about how many Benjamins he's got in his pocket. That's the whole point. You understand? But keep reading.
Which while some and pierce themselves through with many sorrows.
Read that one time.
They have erred from the truth and pierced themselves through.
You understand? Go ahead.
With many sorrows.
You understand? Really, at the end of the day, money doesn't make a real person happy.
That's right.
If you a real person, of course you can be a what's the word called when you only love objects?
Oh, you
Starts with an M.
Materialistic.
Yes, thank you. You understand? When you're a materialistic person, money will make you happier than a lot.
Right.
You understand? When you can buy women, you can buy this, you can buy that. In the long run, yes, you can buy a lot of things, but guess what? What you don't know are the people around you about you or about your money.
That's right.
You know, so at the end of the day, a lot of these people with money, they might not be as happy as you seem.
Right.
Why? Because you'll find rich people that commit suicide.
Right.
Rich people that overdose on drugs.
Right.
You understand why?
Right.
Because they're trying to escape reality just like everybody else. You understand? Wiz Khalifa, he smokes all that weed to escape reality. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mac Miller, even though he's not our people and he's dead now,
right.
He was doing all those drugs to escape reality. But he had the money, did he not?
Sir.
You understand?
People like Lil Wayne.
You know, Lil Wayne, he's doing everything to escape reality. That's what
right.
That's what drugs really do, is help you try to escape the reality you living in. But they got money, so apparently that money is really not making them happy. Right. They're very sorrowful. Why? Because everybody, all blacks, and Indians, they have something called a conscience. Mm-hmm. They have a conscience. They know what they doing is right and wrong, but sometimes that conscience that baggage on their shoulders, like I was saying earlier, may be too much for them to withstand.
That's right.
They might not have the strong enough spirit to withstand all the wrongdoings they were doing for years. Steve Harvey will pay for what he said about forget slavery.
Right.
You know, Oprah Winfrey, she will pay.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh God, Kanye West shall pay.
That's right.
You understand? Right. And that's the whole point of the matter, is that we want to look up to these black leaders like they are blameless. Right. Like there's things that they can never be accountable for the things they have done. But that's not the case. The Lord sees what you do. The Lord knows what you do. Even though you are not dying now, you haven't gotten punished now, does not mean you will never or shall never be punished for your actions. You understand? And it might not only be you that gets punished. Your child, your family might be the ones that die because of your actions. How do I know this? It's in the scriptures. You understand? You go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel deterred, and he loved his wife more than he loved the Lord.
Right.
The same way our Christian pastors and our black leaders love money more than they love the Lord.
Right.
He loved his wife. You understand? He loved his wife so much he decided and stopped doing the work to the Lord like he should have. And guess what the Lord did? Did the Lord kill Ezekiel? No, he didn't. What did the Lord do?
Killed his wife.
He killed the man's wife and told him not to cry about it.
Right.
Told him not to shed no tears and go get his job done like a real man.
Right.
That's what he told Ezekiel. You understand? The Lord is not about no games and emotions. The Lord's about get what I said to get done, or you're gonna reap the repercussions.
Right.
You understand? That's the whole point. So let's drop that. Let's hit Matthew 19 and 16. It's Matthew 19 and 16. Let's hit it. I want to start at 16.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 16.
Hold on, I don't want to start there. No, let's not start there. Let's start at 20.
Come, sir. Matthew chapter 19, verse 20. The young man saith unto him, all these things have I kept from my youth up. Mm-hmm. What lack I yet?
You understand? So this young man, a cat, he came to Christ, you know, to ask him a question. He said, I've been saving all these things from my youth up. I mean, he's been saving all his money, all his riches, and he's a wealthy cat.
Right.
But at the same time, he's like, even though I have all this money, he's like, what do I lack?
Right.
It's like I'm lacking something.
Come on.
Meaning that he's not doing everything to the best of his abilities, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
21. Jesus said unto him, if thou would be perfect.
If that what?
If thou would be perfect.
If you want to be perfect, go ahead. So don't think about this. Christ is talking to a man with all the money in the world.
Right.
This man has all the money like Kanye West. He's got all the money like Steve Harvey and Oprah Winfrey and Jay-Z and Drake and all these other rappers and entertainers, whatever the case.
Right.
He's got money. So Christ is saying, if you want to be perfect, so if they really want to be perfect, go ahead.
Go and sell that thou hast.
He said, go and sell what thou have. Go sell it. Go ahead.
And give to the poor.
And go give what you got to the poor, man. You have all these riches, but what are you really doing with it? You got all these diamonds and jewels and money and mansions, but really, what are you doing with your life?
Right.
That's what Christ is asking them.
Right.
What you should really do is you should sell all those belongings, get your bread back, and go give it to the poor.
That's right.
You understand? You don't need your $900 million and your brother's asking you for 50 cents.
Right.
He's asking you for $1 for goddamn McChicken.
Right.
You understand? You got brothers out on the streets suffering and dying in the ghetto, homeless. You got $90 million in your bank account, in your net worth, and he's doing all this, and you won't do nothing for him.
Right.
They're literally. You'll have a rich person walk by the poor, and the poor ask them, "Do you got a couple dollars? Can I have a couple dollars so I can go feed myself?"
Right.
Of course, sometimes you don't know what they want it for. They'll say that.
Right.
That's true. But then they can be like, I just want to McChicken from McDonald's. We're right here. Do you think you could take go in there and buy me a McChicken?
Right.
Then you know they're trying to get food.
Right.
Homeless people ask that.
Right.
Of course, everyone thinks they want alcohol and drugs because they're homeless. Just because someone's homeless doesn't mean they're a drug addict or alcoholic.
That's right.
You understand? Maybe they just don't have the right direction or correction to get themselves to where they need.
Right.
They don't have a father to teach. They never had a father to teach them.
Right.
They never had someone that actually believed in them and to guide them into the right direction.
Right.
They didn't have that. So now they're just in a piss poor situation.
Right.
So they just want a sandwich. But our black leaders are so disgusting, they will be like, nah, I don't got nothing for you. When you know they got 50 bands in their pocket.
Right.
They credit card or debit card has millions of dollars on it, and they won't give it to the poor.
Right.
So that's why Christ is saying, okay, no sweat. Take what you got, go sell it, get some more bread, more than you've already got,
Right.
and go give some of that to the poor.
That's right.
If you were real, you are sincere about wanting to be perfect with the Lord.
Right.
Go ahead.
If thou shalt have treasures in heaven.
You know what?
If thou shalt have treasure in heaven.
And you go do that, and in the kingdom of heaven, you'll have some real treasure. You know, so you'll have some real bread. You understand? Go ahead.
And come and follow me.
And go and follow me. Christ said, you go do this, what I said, in the kingdom of heaven, when blacks, Hispanics, and Indians are ruling on this earth,
Right.
you're going to have more than what you had in the beginning with.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Just follow me, and I'll guide you in the right direction.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 22. But when the young man heard that saying, he went away sorrowful.
But when that young, rich, white, no, not white, when that young, rich, black man heard that, he was sorrowful. Why was he sorrowful? Why would he be sorrowful?
It's like it, sir, because he didn't want to hear that. Talking about giving away all his earthly wealth.
Because he didn't want to give his earthly wealth away. You understand? He didn't want to give away all those funds that he was saving up and collecting for however many years he was been alive.
Right.
That made him sorrowful, being like, what? I gotta get rid of what I got, what I earned myself. I gotta give it away to them.
Right.
That's how he was thinking.
Come.
Yes, because people with money think they better than people that are poor.
That's right.
Just because you got money does not mean your real worth as a person on this earth is better than his.
Damn right.
You know what I'm saying? You a black man just like him.
Right.
Just because you got a bigger bank account doesn't mean you better than him.
Right.
Your wealth has nothing to do with it. That's just another material object that you got.
That's right.
You understand? Where's your humility? Where's your selflessness?
Right.
Where's your brotherhood, man?
Right.
You want to claim you want to be perfect, but you can't even go give your funds to a brother that is in need.
Right.
In need. I don't mean like he just is wanting it just to get his get his bank account higher. He's literally in need.
Right.
Hasn't eaten in 2-3 days. He's been digging into trash cans in the alleyway.
Right.
He just wants a goddamn McChicken.
Right. Those people in what is it, Detroit? They just want some fresh water.
Flint, Michigan.
Flint, Michigan. They want fresh water. They haven't received fresh water yet. But we're talking about brotherhood. You know how many blacks millionaires we have on this planet? And nobody, you mean to tell me not a couple people can't come together, man, and come up with enough to just go and get these people some fresh water, man?
Point. That shows how much our black leaders lack the brotherhood and sisterhood to our other brothers and sisters that are poor in the ghetto and poverty.
Right.
Suffering and dying and crying, going to food pantries, begging for change, trying to make chickens, McDoubles, and trying to get some food to feed their families. Our black leaders won't do nothing for them.
Right.
You understand? And the sad thing is other nations do that.
Right.
The other nations will help their own nations in need.
Right.
How do I know this? Because Akon, African, went over there to Africa and paid for 600 million Africans to be sheltered.
Okay. Right, you did.
600 million.
You said Pacquiao?
And
Pacquiao?
Akon.
Akon?
Akon, the R&B singer.
Right, and Slack, sir, and the boxer Pacquiao.
The Chinese boy.
He took some millions and went over there and did some stuff for his people.
You understand? These other nations, they receive money, they receive a lot of net worth or whatever, and then they go back to where they came from,
right,
and they give it to the ones in need.
That's right.
That's the whole point.
Right.
But rich black people, they don't give it to the ones in need when it comes to their people.
Hell no.
They'll donate it to another nation.
Right.
Like, you have Colin Kaepernick. Of course, we don't know our race or whatever the case may be, but we always want to give it to Africans.
Right.
It's always Africa, because apparently they like to say it's the motherland or whatever the case may be. But we always want to. Colin Kaepernick, he went over to Africa and had his little retreat, whatever the case may be. Is that you have there are some black entertainers and stuff like that try to do things good. They try. They have a better spirit than most. Like for example, I'll give some props to LeBron James. You know, saying he's very prideful and egotistical when it comes to his craft, but he's great at it, so he has a little bit of talking room, right? But what did he do? He spent money to buy a school. Right. He made a school for black people, black kids. That's right. That's a beautiful thing. I can give him a very good. I could say that about him.
That's right.
You understand? He'll go to events and he'll buy kids shoes.
Right.
He'll buy kids earbuds and stuff like that. But the biggest thing he did is buy a school.
That's
for
right.
education.
That's
Of course,
amazing.
it's going to teach Christian nonsense. But even though he's still in his Christian mind state, he doesn't know the truth. He's still trying.
Sir.
You understand? So that's a good thing. LeBron James is actually at least trying
That's right.
to benefit people.
That's right.
You understand? But you look at other black leaders or entertainers, whatever the case may be, they'll go create a TV show
Right.
to make sure they have income coming in.
Right.
Of course, that's an investment, but that's individually for them and their individual family. Like Stephen Curry, he does his basketball thing. He's great,
Right.
but now he has some type of mini golf TV show. You understand? That's not for everybody.
Right.
That's for everyone's amusement,
Right.
but not everybody's financial problems.
Right.
You understand? But when you go look at real black leaders like Commander Hunt and Isupk,
That's right.
what did he just do? He basically just bought out an entire hotel for
That's
the Passover.
right. That's right.
You understand? Reserved these rooms and did all that. You understand? If you can't make it to Passover and you are lacking the bread, he's gonna pay it. He'll help you with transportation and stuff like that. If you need rent, you need bills, just make the calls, the necessary calls and the necessary channels in your zone, your camp leader, your captain of your cities. Make those calls, and guess what? You have help.
Right.
You go to all these schools in different states under Commander Hunt and the Lord in Christ. You understand? What do we have? We have food drives, prison, food drives, clothes drives, prison program, GED, counseling, and guess what it all is? Free.
Right.
You understand? The men inside the school and the women inside the school pay their tithes and put up all the bread for all this.
Right.
They put their time up to go get the food, time up to get the clothes, time over to visit the prisons, time in to teach you and listen to your problems so you can guide you in the right manner of life.
Right.
That's a real black leader.
That's right.
You understand? So everyone should look to him as if he is, not as if, that he is the greatest black leader on the earth walking right now today.
Right. That's right.
You understand? On earth right now, because when Christ comes back, it's a different story. But you know what I mean.
Right.
You understand? But you got something to say though?
No, I was just gonna say it's amazing how destroyed we are as a people, man. And we always talk about how much we know the Lord. You know, everybody talking about how much God talked to him every day and all this. If your relationship's so damn great with the Most High, then why the hell you not following His law, statutes, and commandments? For one. For two, for all these pastors and these entertainers, man, they got these platforms where they could be using to helping God's people. Majority of them, when they get money, the first thing they want to do is get away from the neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. They don't even want to be there for real. Then when they do come, it's for showing or a tax write-off or something. You know, they're not doing that. They don't care.
That's a huge point. You know what I'm saying? When black people, we all started from the hood unless we were born into one of the already black rich families, right? We all started in the hood, started in the ghetto. A lot of these black rappers, entertainers, and athletes, I'd say majority athletes did, because they're athletes. They really grinded and hard for their craft. But the thing is that they always talking about I want to do it to get out the hood.
Right.
Why do you want to get out the place that raised you? You want to leave your mom behind, you leaving your family behind, you leaving your friends and your everything behind to go live where? With your oppressor.
Right.
You understand why? Because they follow the religion that shows more compassion and love towards their oppressor rather than they do their own race.
Right.
You understand? That's the whole point. That's why this cat that was talking to the Hawashai, quote Jesus in the English, as of what people would know him as. Right. He just said, just sell your stuff and give it to the poor. Right. Did he mean give every last dime to the poor?
Nah, sir, I don't think so.
Every last individual dime?
Right. I don't think so.
No, you don't have to do that.
Right.
You understand? Of course, if it was required of you, you should love the Lord enough to do it. But we don't ask you to give every last penny. When in the UPK, do we ask you to give every last individual dollar that you own? No. But we do we do tell you that tithes is a commandment.
Right.
You must pay your tithes.
That's right.
That's different. Donations or free will offerings for priests, not mandatory.
Right.
Not mandatory. It's in announcements.
Right.
Not mandatory. If you're a part of the school, we need this and this and this and that. We would rather it's more righteous for you to put yourself in a hindering proposition or a hindering financial state for the sake of for the righteous.
Right.
For the people. You understand? Like Christ, you got to think Christ was the king of Israel.
Right.
But he still slept on everyone's couches.
That's right.
You understand? He still slept on other floors and all the case may be. He did that.
Right.
You understand? Same with Commander John Hanna, same with other brothers and sisters, brothers in the school.
Okay.
They would rather give all their funds to the school rather than hog all their funds and hardly ever give to the school.
Right.
That's the point. It's called being selfless. It's called being a real black leader. A real black leader would be rather that the people are taken care of before his own well-being.
That's right.
That's just.
Come.
You understand? So let's keep reading. I think we're at
For he had great possessions. 22.
22.
In the 22.
All right.
23. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, Verily I say unto you, that a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Now what?
That a rich man shall hardly enter into the kingdom of heaven.
And a rich man with all the money in the world, like all our black leaders and all the Yesuses and all that,
Right.
It'll hardly make it into the kingdom of heaven.
Come.
Why?
It's like because they so goddamn closed fist and selfish.
Because they love themselves and their money too much.
Right.
I want them to say they love themselves because really they don't love themselves.
Right.
But they love the money more than anything on this planet.
Right.
You understand? They won't give it up like that cat didn't want to give up.
Good.
They see all this money. They see all what they got. When you have $1 billion, you don't want to see your bank account go from like 8 zeros or whatever, 9 zeros, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want your bank account to show 9 zeros and that in commas and whatever number in front of them zeros to go all the way down to a zero.
Right.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see that either, but
Kill itself.
yeah, I personally wouldn't want to see that too, but the whole point of the matter is that if it was necessary, it would be done.
Right.
You understand? I've had bread. I'm still here trying to scrounge up dollars every now and then as I can myself.
Right.
You understand? No, trying to talk myself, but the whole point of the matter, I know all the brothers in EBK will do that.
Okay.
He said, I know you do that. I know Kamal Quad and the bar I'm in Chicago at least would all do that. In this zone, I see brothers, oh, your check was how much? 200? Well, let me pay my tithes. And, how much were we raising for the school? We needed, what, $500? All right, they'll give like $120 out. They last little 180. So that will leave them with $50 for 2 weeks.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
That's the whole point. Brothers and sisters will rather go. They would rather live a rough lifestyle financially to make sure everyone lives a better lifestyle altogether. You understand? You need your bills paid. Well, I'll have $50 left after I pay my bills, but I can give you $25.
Right.
You understand? Black people, listen to this. Black people great at making $50 stretch. We great at that. We can make $50 stretch a whole month. You understand? But once we get our paycheck and we have that $800, and that gone in the next 3 days.
Right.
You understand? Of course we have bills, but I'm saying even a person that don't got bills. It's easy to make a little bit of money stretch because we want to always buy. Right. Yes, we are the righteous. We're not righteous. I want to say, as a nation of people, yes, we are supposed to be the kings and the princes and princesses on the earth. Right. We are the royalty on the earth, technically, yes, because we were born with the inheritance, right? Cool. However, we want to in our spirit. That's what we are, royalty. That's why we call ourselves kings and queens and all that. That's why we call ourselves that, because in our spirit we have a royal spirit. Right. But the thing is that we want to live that type of lifestyle, working 9 to 5. When you get $800, you only get $800 every other week. You really can't dress the part. You can't ball like that. You can't boast like that. Right. You have bills, you got rent, car notes, family, food, all that. You got to pay all these things, but we still want to wear $500 shoes, $1,000 watches, and all that. Yes, I understand you royalty, and you have the spirit of royalty in you. That's cool, but it's called money management. Why put yourself in a hard scenario? Right. If I was ever too deep in the hole, I would sell my jewelry. I would not want to, but I would do it if I was that deep in the hole. Right. You understand? Guess what the majority of that money I got from my jewelry would go to? Y'all. It is what it is. Like he said, you give away the treasures of what you have right now on earth. Right. In the kingdom of heaven, you'll have more money and more treasure that you can even fathom. That's right. I'd rather take the unfathomable amount of bread in the kingdom rather than the fathomable amount in the United States of America. Means that that's right. I don't need all that. $60 million That would sound great.
That do sound
But in the
great.
kingdom of heaven, when you have 600 trillion shekels,
Right.
I'll take that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, does that just by sacrificing the little 60 million.
I want man getting a little practice now.
Fair point. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, does that. But let's get ready.
God, sir. 24. And again I say unto you, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle.
For what?
It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle.
So for it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle. You know what a camel is, everybody, right?
Kind of a kind.
One of those animals over there in like the deserts and everything like that that have the humps on them.
Right.
That animal, it's easier for that individual animal
Right.
to go through the eye of a sewing needle.
Right.
You know how hard it is for you even to get the thread through the sewing needle?
Right.
You gotta suck it, you gotta twist it, you gotta suck it again, twist it. You gotta use your vision and try to.
Right.
And every time it gets to the hole, does what?
Kind. Right.
You miss it 5 times before you get that thread through that sewing needle.
That's right.
But it's saying it's easier for a full-blown animal that's the same size of a horse to go through that little needle.
Right.
Go ahead.
Than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of God.
Than it is for a rich man to enter the kingdom of the Most High. Yeah, there's that same little thread that you can hardly ever get into that needle, the eye of the needle for sewing. It would be easier for you to fit a horse through that rather than a rich man make it to the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
Meaning what?
It's going to be very rare to see that.
Basically, my point. Yeah, there's your odds of seeing that are 0.00000000000. I'll say zeros for another 5 minutes before I say a 1% the chance of it actually happening. You understand? Because what? The money is the root of all evil. You understand? That greedy spirit that our black leaders have, it's just so outstanding and disgusting.
Right.
You understand? I got a couple more scriptures. You understand? So let's go to Isaiah 56 and 10.
Come on, sir.
And then after that, we'll hit Jeremiah, and that'll be it. Jeremiah 23 and 1 will be your last one. So 56 and 10. So you gotta. I really have another one, but I ain't gonna keep us over the time like that.
What's that?
Another scripture, but I ain't gonna do that. I could, but I ain't gonna do it. Take your time.
Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind.
What?
His watchmen are
You
blind.
understand? What's a watchman used for? A watchman is for someone that keeps an eye out for danger or threats.
That's right.
You understand? He's supposed to make sure that the people inside a watchman would be like, let's say we're at a castle, for example. Let's say we're thinking about a castle. A lot of people know Game of Thrones. We're at Winterfell, or whatever the case may be. We're at this castle. There's a person on each corner, and they're looking for threats or danger for the people that are coming towards the castle itself and the people inside.
Right.
You understand? Those would be your watchmen.
Right.
I mean, they're watching out for threats or anything or anybody that might be a danger or something that might harm or bring harm to the residents inside the walls of the castle. Same like the man of the house would be the watchman of his individual house.
Right.
You understand? He would be the one protecting, make sure everything's okay.
Right.
You understand? Security cameras, weapons, or whatever the case may be. He's trying to make sure that there's no harm coming into his individual house. Right. Go ahead. The watchmen, though, are what?
His watchmen are blind.
You understand? But these watchmen that are supposed to look out for evil and threats and danger, they're blind.
Right.
Meaning what? They can't see real danger.
Right.
They can't see the threats that's at hand. They can't see that. Go ahead.
They are all ignorant.
They're all ignorant. I mean, they don't even care to see. They're not literally blind.
Right.
They just don't care to look.
Right.
You understand?
Turning a blind eye.
They're turning a blind eye.
Right.
You understand? I mean, they turn their face. They'd rather just not look at the problem because they don't want to deal with the problem.
Right.
They're lazy, they're lax, they're selfish, they're gross. Those type of people that would just rather overlook a scenario and hope it solves itself. You understand?
Right.
Oh, well, your engine's, your tire's super loose on your car. It's been wobbling like a mug. It only has one more bolt left. But, you know, I just don't feel like doing anything today, so come back next week. You can keep driving on it. But then that person in the car keeps driving on it, and guess what it does? They're on the highway going 80 miles an hour on the freeway. They lose that tire. Guess what they are? 9 times out of 10. Dead.
Right.
You understand? Because they were all ignorant. They just want to ignore the fact.
Right.
They weren't literally blind. They would just prefer not to have to see it.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
They are all dumb.
They're all what?
They are all dumb dogs.
They're all dumb dogs, man. They're all dumb, stupid dogs, like a dog with dementia. You understand? One that will just sit there and look at the wall all day. You understand? I had a dog like that. You know, she got real old. She was like 15, 16 years old. She got dementia, and guess what she did? She just sit in the house and stare at the wall. You know, she'd walk into walls and walk into things because she was going blind. She just couldn't see.
Right.
Because she was literally a dumb dog. You understand? Well, go ahead.
They cannot bark. Sleeping, lying down. Loving to slumber.
You understand? They cannot bark. I mean, they don't have the courage to fight back against a attack.
Right.
They don't have the testicular fortitude to vocally express that there's danger coming.
Right.
You understand? Think about you have a house dog. What's the point of having a dog? Literally. Security. A dog is really meant for security. Of course, you have house pets. Everyone loves their Pomeranians and Chihuahuas and all that. Cool. They're just a regular house pet that you can pet all the time.
Right.
But it's wise. If you're going to get an animal and you're going to get a dog, let it be a dog that's at least going to alert the house if someone breaks in.
That's right.
You understand? That's how our black leaders are supposed to be. They're supposed to be that dog like a pit bull or a German shepherd or something along those lines that will bark when anyone they don't know enters your house.
That's right.
Or comes close to the house. If you have a gate or anything like that in the front yard or backyard.
Right.
Anyone that gets too close to the backyard, they'll bark and alert you that there's someone there.
Right.
With the front yard, they bark and alert you that someone's too close to your house.
That's right.
Or you have an inside dog that barks when someone enters your house that they do not know.
Right.
That's the type of dog that you should really have in the long run.
Right.
You understand? Like our black leaders, that's how they're supposed to be.
Right.
They're supposed to speak up against crimes and atrocities that's going down.
That's right.
Warn us that our oppressors shooting us in the streets.
Right.
Warn us that drugs are fulfilling and predominant in every ghetto we have in America.
Right.
On the west side, north side. All the reservations are flowing with meth. Those watchmen and those Hispanic leaders over the reservations should say something.
Right.
You understand?
That's right.
They should say something because they're like I said, they're on the pedestal. We're all looking to them for guidance.
Right.
Our people look for Kanye West for guidance. We look for Oprah and Steve Harvey and Jesse Jackson and all these other pastors and deacons. We look for them for instruction and safety and hope and security. We look for them for that. But guess what? They don't bark. They don't let us know when something's wrong.
Right.
Like that Christian pastor that let that devil in, Dylan Roof, storm into that church that was a black-only church. He should have done what to that white boy? He should have frisked him.
Sir.
Let me check your bag. Let me see what's your belongings.
Right, damn right.
You understand? Because you should know how the oppressor is.
Right.
The oppressor was the one that murdered you every day for 400 plus years.
Right.
Lynched you, raped you, murdered you. He tied your limbs to horses and then said, hee-haw, whatever the case may be,
right.
and tore you limb from limb, part to part, and laughed while your family members watched their husbands and fathers die.
Right.
That's the race that you have been wanting to join and you've been in captivity under. And you're going to let that same race just waltz up into your black-only church in the ghetto.
Right.
Remember, you in the ghetto. You're in the ghetto in the south side of North Carolina, whatever the case may be.
Right.
Why is a white boy in your ghetto?
Right.
Why?
Right.
He does not. What? In a white society, in a white privileged society, he's in the ghetto that you're in? Really?
Right.
You got to think twice. As a watchman, you're supposed to be wise and understanding to those types of threats.
Son of a gun.
Well, I've never really met a very good white person.
Sir.
You understand?
Right.
Well, there was John and Bobby a long time ago, but since I met those two, every other so-called white person I've ever met, they were just outrageous.
Mm-hmm.
They spoke rude. They were hostile. It just wasn't a comfortable situation.
Come.
That's how all black people should think.
Right.
You understand? Especially the watchmen, because they gotta look out for that.
That's right.
Look at eye justice and their hands.
Right.
See how they lean and how they're walking. They're wearing a trench coat.
Right.
And I heard clacking or clanking. Okay, well that man needs to be frisked at the door.
Right.
You understand? That's why in the Isupk, under Commander General Hunter, in the name of the Lord of Christ, every time a person walks into these buildings, they are what? Frisked.
Right.
Women, we're gonna use a pen or some type of baton or whatever the case may be, and search y'all purses. Cause guess what? The oppressors' women are murderers as well.
Doggone right.
You understand? Just because you a woman doesn't mean you safe.
Damn
Just
right.
I mean that you're safe to be around.
That's right.
You understand? Why do I know that? Look at Amber Geiger. She walked into a black man's house and shot him dead.
Right.
You understand? Women are dangerous as well.
That's right.
All you need to do is have a specific type of weapon and they can destroy nations.
Doggone right.
You understand? Majority of that weapon that they have is that box.
Right.
You understand? Boxes destroy a lot of nations.
That's right.
But I ain't even going into that right now. You understand? But keep reading.
Sir. Lying down, loving to slumber.
You understand? Meaning your guard dogs, meaning your watchmen would rather just sleep all day. They'd rather go just make music.
Right.
Do things that bring them peace.
Right.
And that bring them in a good mind state. Get high and do drugs and go make money. That's what all they're gonna do. You understand?
Right.
Things that make them happy.
Right.
Things that make them safe. They'll buy jets. They can flee the country. They can buy weapons. You understand? They can do this. They can do that. Why? Because they're making all the money in the world.
That's right.
You understand? They can buy all these cars that they can run away from somebody. They can always do this. They can fight back if they want to because they have all the weapons in the world. That's the whole point of the matter. They have all this money. They feel at ease.
Right.
But you living on the south side and the west side of every ghetto in the U.S., you can't afford no firearms.
Right.
You probably got on child support, so you can't. If you're on child support, you can't own a weapon.
Right.
You can't own a weapon. Of course, I don't mean a knife. You can own a knife,
Yeah.
all that. You can't own a firearm if you're on child support.
Right.
That takes away a lot of your. 90% of the time, of course, these are all just random odds. Sometimes when I say numbers, you understand. Like 90% of the time, if a robber has a firearm and you don't in your house, you're gonna lose that fight unless the Lord's on your side.
That's right.
You understand?
Right.
But since black people are sinning up and down, left and right, 90% chance is the Lord isn't on your side.
Cool.
How do you know that? Because he let the he let the thief enter your house in the first place.
Wow.
You understand? That's my point. The Lord let that burglar into your house. So odds are he's probably not with you. You understand?
That's heavy.
Go ahead. And because you didn't have a real watchdog, you let the wrong person into your house. Mm-hmm.
Verse 11, yea, they are greedy dogs.
They're what?
They are greedy dogs.
They're greedy dogs. I mean, dogs that what? You ready?
Which can never have enough.
Can never have enough. They'll never keep striving and trying to get more money. Kanye West can live the rest of his life without having to ever work again. He'll never have to make music again. He can literally just have sex, go to Starbucks every morning, go to the movies and buy alcohol every day he's alive for the rest of his life. And guess what? He will not go broke.
Right.
Literally. He can buy a $5 things at Starbucks. He can buy a $10 bottle of liquor or $20, $30 bottle of liquor. You understand? And go see a $10 movie every day, probably for the rest of his life, and probably wouldn't make too big of a dent.
Right.
And $844 million. Literally. That's $50 a day. Equate 50 times 3. That's what? 5 times 3 is 15. So that's $1,500 a month. Times 12. That's about $20,000 a year.
He got enough for a few generations.
He's got enough for generations. That's the whole point, right?
Good.
Keep reading.
Come on, sir.
And there
Okay. They are greedy dogs which can never have enough. And they are shepherds that cannot understand.
Understand? A shepherd is someone that's supposed to guide the flock.
Right.
Guide the sheep, guide the cattle into the right direction.
Right.
And get it away from the wolves. Get it away from the predators. Put them in their cabin or whatever the case may be, in their farmhouse. Do that. But these shepherds, our black leaders, they don't understand how to do that. They don't have the understanding and the wisdom to actually guide the people in the right direction.
Right.
You understand? Because they, guess what? They were taught by the same race that enslaved them.
Right.
Go ahead.
It's like you, sir. Then not to mention that they won't even stand up and fight for their own people. So they'll go against their own nation and race for a check.
Yes, and think about this. These black leaders are supposed to be the shepherds. Supposed to be.
Right.
The shepherds that protect the flock. I mean, they are the ones that they got to fight back against the ones that are inside the canal or whatever you want to call it. Inside the whole herd. King David, he protected the herd.
Right.
And they were literal sheep. They were literal sheep.
Right.
And he protected the herd. He fought lions. He fought wolves.
Right.
He fought bears. He fought Africans. He did whatever he had to do to protect the sheep.
Right.
And our black leaders can't even speak about it.
Right.
You understand? That's the whole point.
Right.
David fought for the sheep's protection.
Damn right.
Your black leaders can't even fight with their words to keep the Hispanics, blacks, and Native Indians in a safe predicament.
That's right.
Go ahead.
They all look to their own way. Everyone for his gain from his quarter. Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we.
You can drop that.
Come on, sir.
Let's get Jeremiah 23:1. We'll
sir.
scratch it off of that.
Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1. Woe be unto the pastors.
Say what?
Woe be unto the pastors.
Woe, meaning death or destruction.
Right.
So it's saying death or destruction be unto the pastors, man. Kanye West is supposed to be a pastor guiding the flock.
Right.
Of course, he's a self-proclaimed devout Christian, whatever the case may be. He's been a Christian for his whole life, regardless. You know, but now he's in the seat of a leader when it comes to the Christian church. You understand? He's going to be destroyed for what he's doing.
That's right.
Did you not see his spectacle he put on? He was walking around with angel wings.
Right.
He had a white Jesus up on the stage with him talking and doing all this. For one, Kanye West is not no angel.
That's right.
You understand? Angel is a servant of the Lord.
That's right.
You understand? He ain't no servant of the Lord.
Hell no.
He's supposed to be.
Right.
But guess who he is? He's a servant of the devil.
Right.
He's a servant of Satan.
That's right.
That's who Kanye West is.
Right.
That's who Creflo Dollar is.
Right.
That's who Jesse Jackson, T.D. Jakes, Louis Farrakhan, Steve Harvey, Oprah. They're all pastors and shepherds for Satan himself.
That's right.
For the devil, which is so-called white man.
Right.
You understand? That's who they are. They will forever be that because the odds of them actually serving the Lord is the same as a camel going through the eye of a needle that you used to sew.
Damn right.
I mean, they ain't gonna do it.
Right.
They ain't gonna forsake their riches for you.
Right.
But you, guess what you do? You give your riches, which you don't have, to them.
That's right.
All y'all women that are Christians, you go to the church and bring your pastor a cake and a pie.
Right.
You cook him some dinner and all that when you won't cook for your husband at home.
Right.
You give all your riches as a Christian follower to your Christian pastors like they need the money.
Right.
Like they need it. He's got a Rolls Royce. He's got a jet, but yet you still pay him money. That's the whole point of the matter, man. Woe and death and destruction to these pastors, man. Of course, I love and I pray for all these black leaders to make it into the kingdom of heaven and not have to be destroyed. But like I said, like we talk about the scriptures, the odds are 100 zeros than the number one.
That's right.
You understand? I would know the mathematical term for that, but I know it's the odds are forever not in their favor.
That's right.
You understand? So Keep reading.
Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
You understand? Because these black leaders, they destroy the flock. They destroy the people, the nation of Israel.
Right.
You understand? That's why the scriptures say that we're the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Right.
Because we are a people that follow after something. We follow after the Lord's law, statutes, commandments. We follow after our King, which is Yahweh Shai and quote Jesus. We always follow the ones that are set in high places to guide us in the right direction.
Right.
Because without proper channels and proper guidance, we will always go astray.
Right.
You understand? I had an old friend of mine when I was a youngin' before the truth. He was a devil, of course. He found out when I joined the school. And I'd follow the school and everything like that. He said, "You're nothing but a follower." And guess what I said? That's the greatest thing I could be. Because the greatest followers turn into the greatest leaders.
That's right.
You understand? But the thing is that all our Christian pastors followed after the wrong leaders.
Right.
They followed after the oppressor.
Right.
They followed after the other nations.
That's right.
And because of that, they became leaders that bring the Lord's people unto the other nations. They lead us to the wrong direction.
Right.
They lead us into the wrong way. So what needs to happen is they need to get cut off.
Right. That's right.
They seats of rulership and righteousness and leadership, they need to be destroyed and taken from them.
Right.
You understand? Same way you take a piece of fabric or something a baby shouldn't eat from the baby.
Right.
The Lord's going to take that away from these black leaders in America.
That's right.
And all across the globe. And he's going to give it to somebody else.
Right.
And he has already done it.
Right.
You understand? He gave it to Commander General Hunter, under the Lord, under him himself and Christ.
Most High in Christ.
You understand?
Right.
The greatest man, one of the second greatest man.
That's right.
No, I didn't say second. One of the greatest men that ever walked the earth, Commander General Hunter.
That's right.
You understand? Which follows Christ and the Lord wholeheartedly. He's the one the Lord ordained to uproot all these pastors, to uproot all these false leaders and everything of that sort. You understand? Because the Lord said, a good tree cannot bear fruit, bad fruit.
That's right.
And that's what the ISUPK is.
Right.
We cannot produce bad Israelites in this place.
Right.
You understand? But the Lord also said this: a bad tree cannot produce good fruit.
That's right.
These black leaders, they cannot produce good human beings.
Right.
They cannot produce what it takes to lead the nation of Israel. So all these bad, like the scriptures say, all bad trees need to be hewn down.
Right.
You need to cut them down like you cut weeds down.
Right.
Like you uproot weeds and things that are bad for your garden.
That's right.
You understand? It's time it's time for us to rebuild the garden that we should be living in.
That's right.
You understand? And that garden is where blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians obey God's laws, and we can dwell in our own homeland again.
Israel. That's
Jerusalem, the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
You understand? When it's only us and solely us, and we have rulership over all the other nations.
It's like, so without all this damn wickedness.
With no wickedness.
And thievery.
And thievery, and robbery, and lies.
Right.
Leading our lives.
That's right.
You understand? So like I said, with the ISUPK, we saw 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. You understand? As well, we have a public service announcement for all Israelites. You understand? If you're black, Hispanic, or Native Indian American, you understand? Or not even American. You understand? Like, while I shared it, let me go to my messenger then. You understand? You understand? For all Israel, the Lord's annual Passover is coming up April 9th, 2020. You understand? Make sure you book your flight and your hotel arrangements now. It's going to be a long weekend, Thursday through Sunday. You understand? Maybe possibly Monday. Reservations can be made now. You understand? For ISUPK 2020 by calling 888-492-8847. I'll say it again. 888-492-8847. And asking for the group code GISPK. You understand? It's all you need to do to reserve. I'm talking about all. This is all UPK, all that members that is trying to make it to the 50th annual Passover over in Yonkers, New York Hotel at the Hyatt Place. Make sure you get this ready and everything of that nature.
That's
You
right.
understand? So we're down past the class, over to Priest and Officer Aram.
We are the Isupk, started out of 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits. For 6 months, they are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to the brother or the sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and the sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and the sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a covenant. Numbers.
Commandment. Use a covenant.
Commandment. Slacky, sir. It's tithes, which is a commandment. Numbers 18:21. Malachi 3:8 and 10 means the 10th in Hebrew. Maishara. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest funds, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, December the 20th, the feast of Hanukkah, which is a dedication. Bring your families. We are over here at the school, and you'll see real brotherhood and sisterhood. We'll come together and enjoy ourselves as a nation, man. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black, boots, shirts, pants, and headscarves. With that,